Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and I am the creator behind Lily Rose Craft Room. And for today's video, I'm gonna show you guys how to make this beautiful large sign with the Thunder Nova 35. But before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, turn on the notifications bell so you guys don't miss out on any new videos. All right, let's get started. All right, so this is the wood that I'm gonna be using. It's birch plywood. I got it from Home Depot. I got it in a big sheet, but I had them cut it there to the size of my laser. So now I'm just going to align this and make sure I have the height right. So I'm gonna get my little measuring tool and let me bring you closer so you can see. All right, so I have the Thunder Laser Nova 35, so I'm able to cut 35 inches across on the bed. The piece of wood I have is 34 inches long. That is the size that I got. So now I'm going to use my little measuring tool to get the focal length right. I'm just gonna lay it right there. Bring up the bed until it barely touches the laser head. Just like that. So I got everything. So next what I like to do is bring my laser head all the way to the top corner. And I want to make sure that I have my material straight on the bed. So to check, I just bring my laser head all the way to the top corner and I run it through to make sure that the laser head is still perfectly aligned. So I got it perfect, and I like to check the length of it too. I'm gonna get in the corner and then bring it down, and that is perfect. So now let me bring it back up. I'm gonna set the laser head right there in the corner because that is where I'm gonna start my project. I'm gonna bring you guys over here. I'm gonna set it as the origin, and that is gonna be my home spot right there. So now let's go over to LightBurn and make our design so we can cut. All right, so now we are in LightBurn. This right here is the size of my laser bed, but I want to make a template of the size of my material in the laser bed. So what I'm gonna do is select the T1 right here. This is our toolbox. And I'm gonna select the square box. And we're gonna make a rectangle. And then I'm gonna size it according to what the material is inside. So my material is 32 inches. So I'm gonna type in 32 IN and hit enter. And it will automatically convert it to millimeters. So I really like that feature. Next, the height is 24 inches. So I'm going to type in 24 IN, hit enter, and it converts it for me. So this right here is the size of my material, and this is where I'm going to be working in. Next, I'm going to make the design here on LightBurn. I'm just going to make a big sign with my name, Lily Rose Craft Room. I rarely make things for myself, so I think it's time that I make myself a sign. So I'm just going to click right here A, and that's going to give us our text box. And I'm going to type in Lily Rose. Oh, let's make it capital. Lily Rose. Just like that. And that looks like the right size that I want. Next, I'm going to type in Craft Room. And the font that I want for this one, I found it earlier on Creative Fabrica. It's called Smart House. So I'm just going to find it. Let's see, where is it at? Smart House, right here. I found these two fonts on Creative Fabrica. This one right here is called Joseph Sophia, and this one is called Smart House. So I'm going to use these two fonts in my signage. So I want to separate the letters here a little bit. So I'm going to go right here on the top where it says H space. I'm going to bump it up to 7. And I like it like that. You know what? I'm gonna make it smaller. So next we're gonna focus right here because I want the C and the R to be cut in to the Y. So what we're gonna do first is, first we need to change these cuts because it's the same color as our template. We're gonna make the cuts red. Next, we are going to right click on our craft room and we're gonna convert it to a path. Same with the Lily Rose, right click, and we're going to convert it to a path. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of the craft room, just like this, and we are going to duplicate bring this to the bottom, and I'm gonna group it together because I want these together. Next, what we're gonna do is focus right here. So these other letters, we're gonna remove them in a little bit. So right here, we're going to get our scissors right here on the left-hand side, and we're just gonna cut the parts that will cut the Y. So right here, we're going to remove this part, right here, this as well, right here, and right here. So when it does the Y, it's gonna cut out this part, this tiny part right here, this part, and this part. So that is where our C and our R are gonna go. So next we're going to delete this part. Just group all this together too because it's gonna be one group. Group it together, that way these little pieces right here won't move. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line these up right here where our cuts should be. Let me zoom in so we can get a better look. Okay, now we have them perfectly aligned. So what we're gonna do next is make our offset. So I probably will cut the Lily Rose craft room on a different sheet of wood because I do want this sign big enough and all of that doesn't fit in one piece of wood. So next we're going to create our offset background. So we're going to highlight both of these and we're going to select the offset shape right here. And we are going to make sure the direction is outward and we're going to offset our distance. We're going to be clicking the up arrow until we like where it's at. I'm going to keep it at 26 just because it's almost at the edge. And I think I can move it in a little bit so it doesn't get cut off. But this is the size that I want to keep. So I'm just gonna hit OK. And then we're gonna get rid of these little cuts inside because I don't want any cuts. I just want the whole entire offset as one. So I'm going to ungroup this offset and then just get rid of the little cuts inside. We're gonna delete this one, delete this tiny one right here, this one, and that one. And there is our offset. So next I wanna make an inward offset. That way I know where to put my letters at. I am going to make a copy of this and I'm gonna place it right here. And then what I'm gonna do is create the inward offset. So I'm gonna select that. And we're gonna select the O. And this time what we're gonna do is select the direction inward. So where the line movement is, that is where our design is at. And the solid line is where our offset is at, our inward offset. So we just want it just in enough. That way we know where we're gonna place our letters at. So I'm gonna keep it like that. And before we hit OK, I'm gonna select this one on. It's to delete the original object. So when I hit OK, it's going to get rid of the craft room and just keep the inward offset. And that's okay because I already made a duplicate right here. So we're going to hit OK. And that is where our craft room is going to be. And that is the inward offset. And for the offset, I do have a different color because this is just going to be a score, a really light score line. That way we know where we're going to put our designs at. So next, what we're going to do is create the inward offset for the Lily Rose. So what we're gonna do for this one is I'm gonna make a copy of the Lily Rose and I'm gonna paste it down here. And now we're going to make the inward offset for this one. So we're gonna click this. We're gonna go to the offset feature. And same with this one, the solid line is where the offset is gonna be. So we just want it barely tucked in a little bit. That way we know where to put our letters at the end. So I'm just going to make sure that delete original object is on. Hit OK, and that is our offset. We're gonna change it to the blue because this is gonna be our score line. Okay, now we have our design ready to cut. So since I have room here at the bottom, I'm going to cut craft room in the same piece of wood. This Lily Rose doesn't fit, so I'm going to get another sheet of wood after I'm done cutting this, and then we're gonna cut the Lily Rose. So now we have our sign ready to cut, and I do have room here at the bottom to cut craft room as well. Lily Rose is going to be cut on a separate sheet of wood. So what I like to do is create a box around where it says craft room, because when I spray paint it, I don't want the letters to be flying all over the place. So if I cut out this piece of border with it, the letters are gonna stay in place. So you'll see in a little bit what I mean by this. So let me change my cut line to red. So the tool line is not gonna cut, so I'll just leave it there. Score line, I do wanna move it above the cut. So I'm gonna select score and we're gonna select this arrow right here, and it's gonna move it before. So any engraving or scoring, you wanna do that before it cuts, because when it cuts, if it drops it down, it does shift the wood. So that's why we want to do the score first. So the settings that I'm going to be using for my wood, which is 6mm birch, the score is set to 50 power and 8% speed. And my cut is going to be 28 speed and 50% power. So these are my settings for my cut and my score. So now we're ready to send this to the laser. So I'm gonna hit send and we're gonna move on to the laser and watch it cut. All right, now we have this cut. I'm going to take it out and then we're gonna make room for the other part that we need to cut, the lily rose. I'm gonna take this out and then we're gonna put another piece of wood. I really love the font of it, especially the heart. I love it. But everything cut out super, super good. So I'm gonna save this piece. I'm gonna put the pieces like a puzzle and then we're gonna spray paint them. All right, here is our lily rose that is beautifully cut. I also did a border around this one. And then right here is where our craft room is gonna be overlapping. So this piece right here, we don't need, and neither do these right here. But we're gonna keep this one right here. So next step is the painting. So let's move on to that. For the spray paint, I'm gonna be using the Color Shop for this purple one. It's called Aromatherapy. I gave the background 2 coats. I let the first one dry and then I went in with a second coat. I really like the Color Shop brand because the colors are so pigmented. Next, I totally messed up. I got the pink one. It's called Farmer's Daughter and I realized I painted that the wrong color. I meant to spray paint it the teal color. It's called Island Girl, but like I said, these colors are very pigmented. I just went right over it and it was fine. So now that our background and our letters are dry, it's time to glue it. And I wanted to show you the inward offset that we did. So once we put the letter perfectly on, you're not going to be able to see any of the offset. So remember, the inward offset was just like a guide to know where our letters are going to be. That way they're not placed crooked. And the glue that we're gonna be using is this one. It's Eileen's DIY Craft. It's a heavy duty adhesive and it's good for wood, metal, stone, glass, fabric, and more. I also like to use this for acrylic. So this is what we're gonna be using. I won't bore you gluing piece by piece. I'm just gonna zoom right past this step. I am just simply gluing it piece by piece with the Eileen's DIY adhesive. And here it is, the finished look. I am so in love with this. Let me know what you think. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you watch until the end, show me by putting heart emojis down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. It all helps my channel grow. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.